So, in your previous classes, we have discussed about the methane explosion in coal mines, in underground coal mines. Methane gas is present. As a result, you come across with methane gas explosion. Similarly, in coal mines, you get coal dust. While drilling the holes in the coal blocks, coal seam, when you drill the holes in the coal mines, in the coal seam, or you cut the coal by the help of a coal cutting machine, you produce coal dust not only during drilling but at the time of blasting also. Whenever you are going to drill and blast the holes in the coal seam, you are going to get coal dust. So that is why this coal dust is a major problem in coal mines. The miners, the people who work inside the coal mine, they face many health problems if coal dust is present in the coal mine environment. What will happen if you inhale the coal dust? If you inhale the coal dust, in lungs disease will be developed, which is called your pneumoconiosis. So that is why the coal miners, the people who work in the coal mines, they are tested in the medical hospitals whether their lungs are functioning well or not, whether they are affected by coal dust or not. So that is the health effect of coal dust. But another hazard is there besides your health hazard. Coal dust also poses explosion, causes explosion. That is called your coal dust explosion. So in the coal mines, in the underground coal mines, in the galleries, in the roadways, in the working phases, if there is accumulation of coal dust in the mine atmosphere, there is chances of coal dust explosion is there. That is why we are going to discuss today about this coal dust explosion, how the coal dust explodes, what are its requirements to get exploded. So let us see what we can learn from this today's class, coal dust explosion. Coal dust explosion. So this dust, today we are going to discuss about the dust combustion characteristics. Whenever the dust combusts, whenever the dust explodes, whenever the coal dust uh, ignition takes place, what are its characteristics? What is pressure? Whenever there is temperature rise, so there will be pressure piling also. And what is primary and secondary explosions? This coal dust explosion can be a primary explosion, it can be a secondary explosion, or it will be a hybrid mixture. Then what is dust explosion and what are the explosion protection measures you have to take. So this is the topic we are going to study together today. So dust explosion characteristics or dust combustion characteristics, pressure piling, then primary and secondary explosions and hybrid mixtures and dust explosion, then explosion protection. So what are the characteristics of a dust combustion? Whenever dust is going to be combusted, it has got some characteristics. Before studying the dust combustion or explosion, let us define what is a dust. What do you mean by dust? Dust particles. Definition of dust particles. It is nothing but a finely divided powdered solid less than 420 micron size. If the dust particles are less than 420 micron size, they are called the dusts. A finely divided powdered solid less than 420 micron size is called a dust. That is the largest particles that will pass through a standard US 40 sieve. So in a mineral processing laboratory, you must have seen different sizes of sieves are there. We use the sieve shaker to uh, we use the sieve shakers to characterize the particle size. So there are different sizes of sieves are there through which the particles can pass. So in the case of a dust, the largest particles that will pass through a standard US 40 sieve is called a dust. It is the definition of the dust. A finely divided powdered solid less than 420 micron size means the largest particles that will pass through a standard US 40 sieve is called a dust. This is the definition of dust. So which dusts can burn explosively? What are the different type of dusts which burn or which explode? Every dust is not going to explode. Explosion takes place for a particular type of dust. So which dust can burn explosively? Materials which, if finely divided and dispersed in the mine air atmosphere, can burn explosively if the dust particles, for example, coal dust particles, which are very finely divided and which are dispersed in the mine air atmosphere, can burn explosively. So the different type of dusts which burn are, first one is your organic materials like coal dust. Coal dust is the organic material dust. Coal dust is a organic material dust. And there are other type of metals, many metals like your iron, aluminum, zirconium, titanium. These particles also, these dust particles are also explosive in nature. They can be combusted. So many metals like your iron, aluminum, zircon and titanium, they are also explosive in nature. And there are some non-metals like your sulfur, silicon, P2S5. They are also explosive in nature. So, what is the nature of dust explosion? Whenever there is dust explosion is there, how does it occur? What is the nature of dust explosion? Generally, they are deflagrations. Coal dust explosions are nothing but deflagrations. That is, the flame fronts propagate into the unburned cloud at a subsonic speed by a combination of heat mass transfer. So, what do you mean by dust explosion? It is nothing but a deflagration. Means the flame propagate into the unburned cloud. If the flame started from one end, it will pass on to the other end wherever there is cloud of dust are there, and the speed of propagation is at a subsonic speed, and it is associated with heat and mass transfer. So whenever there is an explosion is there, so temperature is going to rise, heating will take place, and there is a pressure change is also there. Pressure, temperature is going to change in an explosion area. So the maximum pressure is approximately 8 times the normal pressure. The maximum pressure which is attained by dust explosion is 8 times the normal pressure, normal atmospheric pressure. So whatever normal atmospheric pressure is there, if an explosion is going to take place, it will be 8 times the maximum pressure developed will be equal to 8 times the normal pressure. So if a given favorable condition exists, given favorable conditions are there, such as long, large diameter pipework, energetic dust may detonate. If the dust cloud is there inside your mind, and they, if they get the favorable conditions, if the dust gets the favorable condition for explosion, it will detonate, and the flame will start propagation from one end of the mine to the other end of the mine into the unburned cloud by compression caused by shock waves traveling at or above the sonic velocity. At a very high velocity, it will travel in the mines from one end to the other where there is clouds of dust present in the mines. So uh, uh, this dust explosion is associated with heat, temperature, pressure, and sometimes the pressure can go up to 20 times the normal pressure, or sometimes it can even go higher. So depending upon the severity of the explosion, the maximum pressure can attain more than 20 times the normal pressure. So what are the conditions required for a dust explosion to take place? Dust is there inside your mind, coal dust is there, suppose coal dust is there inside your mind, and but there is no explosion because you need certain conditions to be fulfilled for the dust explosion to take place. What are those conditions required for the dust explosion to take place in your minds? We have in the fire section also, in the explosion, methane gas explosion section also, we have discussed what are the conditions required for the methane gas explosion to take place. Similarly, coal dust explosion also takes place if certain conditions are fulfilled. What are those conditions? First condition is a suspension of dust within its flammable range. There should be suspended dust in the mine atmosphere. The coal dust should be the coal dust should remain suspended in the mine atmosphere, and it should be within its flammable range. We have studied in the methane gas explosion, there are two, the lower flammable range and the lower flammable limit, the upper flammable limit. So that is called your flammable range. So the dust should remain suspended in the mine atmosphere and it should be within the flammable range. Then only uh, it is it can be exploded. And the second condition it should fulfill is there should be oxidizers or oxygen present in the mine atmosphere, sufficient air, sufficient oxygen or other oxidizers should be present in the mine atmosphere along with suspended dust particles. The oxygen should be also there or some oxidizing agents should be there which will initiate, which will be the favorable condition for the explosion. So if these two conditions are fulfilled, there is suspended dust particles in the mine atmosphere within the flammable range, and there is mine air containing oxygen, sufficient oxygen in the mine atmosphere, or there is an oxidizer, oxidizing agent in the mine atmosphere. These are the two conditions. If they fulfill, they are not going to explode. With these two conditions, they are not going to explode. A third condition is necessary. A third condition is necessary for the explosion to take place. What is that third condition? That is the ignition source. In the last class also, we have discussed what is a ignition source. In the case of methane explosion also, you need the source of ignition for the explosion to take place. So there should be an effective ignition source for the explosion, coal dust explosion to take place. So these are the three conditions required for the coal dust explosion to take place. First is the dust should remain in suspension. The coal dust should remain suspended in the mine atmosphere within its flammable range. There should be sufficient oxygen or sufficient air or sufficient oxidizers in the mine atmosphere, and there should be an effective ignition source. If these three conditions are fulfilled, then only the coal dust is going to be exploded. So you see, this is the explosion. In this figure, in this picture, you are able to see how the coal dust explosion takes place. You see the huge flame is there whenever there is an explosion. So if this explosion is going to take place, so this flame, this is the flame, red color flame, it will travel from one end of the mine to the other end. So this is called your flame propagation. This is called your flame propagation. The flame will move from one place to the other where there is dust. Suppose in this area dust is there, then this flame will move to that area because of the pressure difference. And there will be explosion in this area also. So this flame propagation moves at a sonic velocity. The flame moves, propagates from one place to other place with a sonic velocity. Okay, so this is the configuration. This is the volume of gases, volume of the dust generated, volume of the your gases. Whenever there is explosion, huge amount of gas will be released, heat energy will be released, temperature will go on increasing, pressure is also going to increase. So this is the consequence of an explosion in an mining environment. Okay, so that is why we are studying this subject very carefully, because we do not want the explosion to take place in your minds. If any explosion is there, you know the severity of this explosion. Anybody is there nearby, they will be burnt, they will die inside the mine. That is why explosion should be avoided in the mines. Coal dust explosion accumulation should not be there. You have to take sufficient measures so that there is no coal dust explosion in your mines. In the past, many people died because of this coal dust explosion. That is why we have to seriously study about this subject, and we should understand what is the mechanism of coal dust explosion and how to minimize, how to eradicate the hazard from your mining environment. So this is the volume of your explosion. So typical dust explosion characteristics. So whenever there is dust explosion, certain characteristics you will find. Typical dust explosion characteristics are like large excess fuel, dust. In this case, in the case of your dust explosion, the coal dust is the fuel. If large amount of coal dust is present, so coal dust explosion is going to take place. If vented forms large fireball, if there is a fireball like the previous, if vented forms large fireball. So in the previous slide, we have seen the fireball, fireball. So as for National Fire Protection Agency 68 predicts the diameter D from an enclosure volume V as D is equal to 10 times cube root of V volume, that is considerably larger than for a methane gas explosion to take place. Also note that the fireball extends upwards and downwards similar distance. Is not it? In the previous slide, we have seen the fireball. We have seen the fireball. So this is the fireball. This is the fireball. This is your fireball. So red color fireball. So whenever there is explosion, so this explosion will rise upwards, and also it will lower to the downwards also, and it will move to the sides also at a great speed, sonic velocity. So this fireball diameter uh, is equal to 10 times the uh, cube root of v. V is the velocity of propagation. So these properties which influence coal dust explosion. What are the properties which aggravate the coal dust explosion hazard in your mining environment? what properties are necessary or what properties are very essential for the coal dust explosion to take place in your mining environment. So there should be minimum ignition energy. You know that the source of ignition is there, and there should be minimum ignition energy, MIE. MIE, minimum ignition energy necessary for the ignition to take place. That is called your minimum ignition energy. If that minimum ignition energy is not there, explosion is not going to take place. So if there is a ignition source is there, if there is an ignition source is there, it should have the minimum ignition energy. Then only there will be ignition and dust explosion will take place. And flammable limits, it should be within the flammable limits. Lower flammable limit, upper flammable limits. So the flammable limit should be within that range. Lower flammable limit, upper flammable limit. Then third is deflagration index. So this deflagration index is calculated or estimated or determined in the laboratory. Deflagration index is determined in experimental setups in the laboratory to know the explosive or explosion hazard in the mines. So you have to calculate the deflagration index. It is a constant KST. KST, deflagration index, is a constant value for a particular type of dust. For coal dust, there is a value which is called your deflagration index. So this deflagration index can be determined in the laboratory by using Hartmann apparatus. A equipment is there in the laboratory which is called your Hartmann deflagration index apparatus. By the help of that apparatus, you can determine this index KST. This is the third one. Then fourth one, maximum explosion pressure. Pressure should, maximum explosion pressure. After the explosion is there, so what is the maximum pressure developed? That is called the maximum explosion pressure. Then ease of dispersion in the air. The coal dust should be easily dispersed in the mine atmosphere. The coal dust should be easily dispersed in the underground coal mine atmosphere. If these four characteristics, properties are there, then coal dust explosion hazard will be there in your mines. So let us see what is the minimum ignition energy you need for the explosion to take place. Minimum ignition energy needed for the coal dust explosion to take place. So the minimum ignition energy of a coal dust cloud depends on many factors, including particle size of the particles, coal dust particle size, chemical composition of the coal dust. So if there is coal dust is there, it may not be fully a coal dust itself. There may be some associated dusts are there also, like here stone dust. So chemical composition of the coal dust, temperature of the mine atmosphere, moisture content in the coal dust, turbulence, very important, whether the dust is stable floating in the mine air or it is just fluctuating from one place to other place. Turbulence, oxygen concentration in the mine atmosphere, how much oxygen is there inside the mine atmosphere. These are the conditions required These are the factors which influence the minimum ignition energy. So this is the equipment which is called your modified Hartmann apparatus to determine minimum ignition energy measurement. To measure the minimum ignition energy, you need an equipment, an apparatus which is called your modified Hartmann apparatus. So this is the diagram. This is the diagram of the modified Hartmann apparatus to determine, to measure the minimum ignition energy. What is the principle of action? What is the principle of this equipment? How this apparatus measures the minimum ignition energy? What is the principle of action of this machine, of this apparatus? You see, so this is a chamber. This is a cylindrical chamber. This is the cylindrical chamber. Okay, this cylindrical chamber is fitted with a compressed air reservoir. This is the compressor is there. Here there is a compressor is there, and these are the solenoid valves. This is one valve. This is another valve is there. This is the air coming from the atmosphere, and it is going to this solenoid valve. Then it is being pressurized. The air is compressed here. Then after compression, through this valve, the air is allowed to move to this place. So whenever this is the compressor used to supply compressed air to this chamber. This is the chamber. This is the chamber where the explosion is going to take place. Okay. Then this side there is a spark generator and timing system is there. So spark generator. So unless there is a spark, so explosion is not going to take place. So ignition, this spark generator is the ignition source. Spark electrodes are, two electrodes are there. This is the spark electrode. Here another electrode is there. Okay. So the function of this electrodes, spark electrodes, is to ignite the dust. It will ignite the dust present in this chamber. Then through this nozzle, you are supplying the coal dust. This is the deflector. This is the deflector where coal dust powder sample, coal dust powder sample. This is the one-way valve. This is the valve through which you allow the compressed air to go. So this is the compressed air. So it will go with pressure because the air is compressed. Then it will come here the dust, coal dust. You will supply the coal dust here. So the dust will be suspended in this chamber, and whenever the coal dust will be suspended in this cylindrical chamber, then you will operate this spark generator to provide the ignition source. Here the dust will be ignited. So after the dust is ignited, then there will be coal dust explosion in this chamber. So from this experiment, you can determine or measure what is the minimum ignition energy necessary for the coal dust particles to explode. What is the minimum ignition energy necessary to explode the coal dust? So this equipment is called your modified Hartmann apparatus, and this minimum ignition energy is calculated by performing this experiment. Okay, so this is the principle of action of the modified Hartmann apparatus. So this minimum ignition energy, what is its effect on the particle size, coal dust particle size? In general, coal dust with particle size above 400 microns will not ignite. If the coal dust particle size is more than 400 micron or 0.4 millimeter size dots, they are not going to be ignited. Bigger size particles, coal dust particles, are not going to be ignited. They cannot be exploded. A coal dust with particle size greater than 400 micron size will not be ignited. 400 microns means 0.4 millimeter size. If the particles are greater than 0.4 millimeter diameter, dust explosion will not occur. This remember, this is the size of the particle. For many dusts, the minimum ignition energy is approximately proportional to the particle diameter cubed. If the dust particle is 0.4 millimeter size, so the minimum ignition energy necessary is directly proportional to the particle diameter cubic meter, particle diameter to the power 3 cubed. So this is the graph you obtain effect of particle size on minimum ignition energy. On this axis, minimum ignition energy is there. On this side, median value micrometer size is there, and you get a curve, get a graph like this. So, what is the effect of temperature on minimum ignition energy? So, in the laboratory, experiments are conducted at different temperatures. At ambient temperature means 25 degree or 26 degree, then 50 degree centigrade, 90 degree centigrade, 180 degree centigrade. These are the temperatures at which the experiment was conducted, and the minimum ignition energy for a particular type of dust, lycopodium dust, it is used in the laboratory to determine the minimum ignition energy. So at ambient temperature, the minimum ignition energy necessary is 90 millijoule, and at 50 degrees centigrade it is 50 millijoule. At 90 degrees centigrade it is 20 millijoule. At 180 degrees centigrade it is 12.5 millijoule. So if you see, the temperature is going on increasing from ambient temperature 25 degrees centigrade to 180 degrees centigrade. As you go on increasing the temperature, the minimum ignition energy also it is going on decreasing. At a higher temperature, you need less energy. You need less energy to be ignited. So this is the relationship between minimum ignition energy and temperature. So as the temperature is going on increasing, as the temperature is going on increasing, so the minimum ignition energy is going down, decreasing. This is the relationship between temperature and minimum ignition energy. That is the effect of temperature on minimum ignition energy. Then what are the effects of moisture? You know that moisture is present in the marine atmosphere in the dust. The coal dust is clouded because of the moisture content in it. So if the coal dust contains moisture, what will happen? What will happen? If there is more moisture is there in the coal dust particles, if in the coal dust particles you increase the moisture content, it will increase the minimum ignition energy value also. If you increase the moisture content, you need more minimum ignition energy. It will reduce the explosion severity. If moisture content is increasing in the coal dust particles, it will reduce the explosion severity. Explosion severity will be reduced, and it will inhibits dispersion of the dust. It will not allow the dust to disperse. That is why explosion severity will be less if there is more moisture. This is the relationship between minimum ignition energy and moisture. So you see the minimum ignition energy and moisture. So this side moisture is 5, 10, 15, 20. As the moisture is increasing, from 5 to 20, so the minimum ignition energy is also going on increasing. It is increasing for different type of dust. This is a particular type of dust which is called your tapioca dust. This experiment was conducted in the laboratory by using a tapioca dust. Then this graph for cornstarch dust and this one for flour dust. So this is the relationship between the minimum ignition energy and the moisture content. So what is the effect of turbulence? I have told you that if the dust is not moving fixed at a particular place, that is called a fixed dust. But if the dust is moving hither and thither, up and down, right and left, forward and backward, so that is called a turbulence is there. The dynamic dust. Dust is dynamic in nature. It moves from one place to other. That is the turbulence of the dust. So what is the effect of turbulence on minimum ignition energy? So if the turbulence increases, the heat loss will be there from the ignition source. That is why you need if the dots are in turbulent stage, you need more minimum ignition energy will also increase. If turbulence increases, there will be heat loss, so you need more energy to get the dust ignited. Consequently, the minimum ignition energy for a coal dust cloud typically increases with increasing turbulence. This is the relationship between minimum ignition energy and the turbulence. So then, what is the relationship between minimum ignition energy and oxygen concentration? You know that oxygen is necessary for the ignition to take place. Without oxygen, the coal dust is not going to be ignited. Three conditions are to be fulfilled for the explosion to take place. One is coal dust in a suspended stage, it should be there. Second is oxygen or oxidizing agent should be present there. Third is a ignition source should be there for the explosion to take place. So what is the relationship between minimum ignition energy and oxygen concentration? So most coal dusts will not burn if the air pressure is reduced below 50 millibar. If the air pressure is not there, if the air pressure is less than 50 millibar, so coal dust is not going to burn. Coal dust is not going to get fired. So most coal dust will not burn if the air pressure is reduced below 50 millibar. So you need certain amount of pressure for the coal dust explosion to take place. If it is less than 50 millibar, there will be no explosion. Reducing the oxygen concentration in the air increases the energy required for ignition. If the concentration of oxygen in the minor atmosphere is less, you need more energy. You need more energy to get it ignited. You need more energy to get the coal dust ignited. If less oxygen is there, you need more energy to ignite the coal dust. Most organic materials like coal dust cease to be ignitable in the range of 9 to 14% oxygen. If the oxygen level in the mine atmosphere is 9 to 14% in the mine atmosphere, so the coal dust is not going to be ignited. It cannot get ignited. You need more oxygen for the ignition to take place. Therefore, the minimum ignition energy reduces if the oxygen concentration in the mine air is increased above 21%. Oxygen level should be 21% in the mine atmosphere for the explosion to take place, or the minimum ignition energy will be reduced necessary. For minimum ignition energy necessary for the explosion to take place, if there is a 21% oxygen concentration in the mine atmosphere. So this is the relationship between minimum ignition energy and oxygen concentration in the mine atmosphere. So this minimum ignition energy testing is done, measured in the laboratory by Hartmann apparatus. So this is measured by a standard which is called your ASTM standard. What is ASTM? American Society of Testing Materials. ASTM full form is American Society of Testing Materials. So the coal dust is to be tested in the laboratory as per the standard to determine, to measure the minimum ignition energy of coal dust. Suggests that 3 different electrical circuits will be there, and permission necessary some latitude in the choice of electrodes. So you know that this electrode is necessary for the ignition to take place. By the help of this electrode, you are going to fire the coal dust. So for that purpose, you need a electrical circuit. The shock energy will be given by the help of this electrode. A fire will be generated for the coal dust to ignite. This can result in significant variability between test laboratories. In the laboratory, this Hartmann equipment is there for testing this, measuring the minimum ignition energy. So this is the ASTM standard E2019 calibration of dust. American Society of Testing Materials, they have calibrated different type of dust. So if it is a coal dust, Pittsburgh coal, and they have taken Irganus 1010 material, they have taken anthraquinone dust, they have taken lycopodium dust, they have taken coal dust, Pittsburgh coal dust. 4 type of dust are tested in the laboratory. So uh, for the explosion to take place, minimum ignition energy necessary for coal dust, the fourth one, the Pittsburgh coal dust, is 30 to 140 millijoule. You need minimum ignition energy of 30 and maximum ignition energy of 140 millijoule for the coal dust to be exploded. And this is another type of dust which is not a coal dust. This is another type of dust which is not a coal dust. This is lycopodium dust which is not also a coal dust. They need less energy. They need less energy for the explosion to take place compared to the coal dust. Coal dust needs more energy for the ignition to take place. So this is the calibration chart. So in the next class, we are going to discuss about the flammable limits. Today, we have studied about the coal dust explosion in the mining environment. This coal dust is very, very dangerous dust in the coal mines. If there is coal dust present in your mine atmosphere, it will affect the health of the people working in the mines. They will develop lung diseases, LUNG, lung diseases like your pneumoconiosis. If they inhale the coal dust through their nostrils, through their nose, it will go to the lungs and it will be deposited in the lungs. Coal dust will be deposited in the lungs and people will suffer from the disease which is called Meniere's disease, which is the name, technical name is pneumoconiosis. So that is why this coal dust is a very dangerous dust in the mine atmosphere. Not only it will affect the health of the people, but there is chances of explosion, coal dust explosion. If three minimum conditions are fulfilled, if there is presence of oxygen is there, ignition source is there, and coal dust is suspended in the mine atmosphere, then there is chances of coal dust explosion is there in the mines. That is why the dust is suppressed by spraying water in the underground mines, and by the coal dust is neutralized by spraying stone dust. So in the next class, we'll study about stone dust also. Stone dust. What is a stone dust? This is a coal dust. Then what is the function of the stone dust in the mining? That we are going to study in the next class. Thank you. I'll send the materials to you so that you can study the subject yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.